Hey, folks, in this interview, it's a discussion with another one of those lucky Peak Design grant recipients, Brittney Janae. This is TWIP. Hey, welcome back to another episode of This Week in Photo. I'm your host, Frederick Van Johnson. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with Brittney Janae. She's one of those lucky people that got that mountain of gear from the generous folks over at Peak Design and a bunch of other companies that threw stuff into the mix. So we're going to talk with her about how it felt to get all that stuff or to be getting all that stuff and what she's going to do with it. Brittney, welcome to the show. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. First of all, congratulations. How did that feel? Because I was hosting the whole announcement thing, and even as I was reading off those names, how you get that little bolt of lightning, electricity. It's like every name. I kind of felt that. I can't imagine what you were feeling like. What did you feel like when you first heard your name mentioned as one of the winners?
So I actually wasn't watching it. I was out, and then I got a text message from my friend, and she was like, "Brittney, congratulations, you won." And I had completely forgot, and I was like, "Wait a second, oh my god, I won!" And I was just start going crazy before I even remember what it was before anything. And she was like, "They're on there now, they're live, go on there right now." And so I just stopped what I was doing. I think I was at Best Buy actually. I think buying something from Best Buy. So I was in a car, and I just was on my phone. I went on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I just started screaming in the car. And I was with my friend, and I was like, "I won! I won a camera! I won all this stuff! I won the contest!" Because I always apply for contests and never win. So I just couldn't believe that I actually finally won. And then I won a camera, because there's times where I have won a contest, but it's never the fact that I won a whole camera is just oh my god, this is a thing, right? So I started getting all these messages from my friends who were watching, and then I just started watching it, and then I was just trying to contain myself, and I was like, "Thank you so much," in the YouTube. But I was super happy. I was so excited.
Yeah, that's got to be crazy. Well, that feeling, because it was not just a camera, right? You got cameras, you got bags, you got a tripod, you got, Flickr stuff, Smug Mug. They loaded you down with stuff. What does life prior to the grant look like? Your creative photography life. What does it look like prior to the grant, and then what is it going to look like after? Do you have any big projects in mind to start working on?
Yeah, so I'm actually shooting my first film, and lately I've just been shooting my own series. So I had a Sony A7 III before I actually won this one, and then I sold it, and then I was using my job's Canon camera for the most part, because I no longer had a camera. And so as I've been shooting my series recently, I've just been using that. But then ever since I won the camera, I've been able to have a 2-cam setup, use my Sony again, because I actually already received all my equipment. So I've been able to use it. Yeah, I'm using it already. And because I already had the Sony, I still had certain accessories from my previous one. And so I've been able to just kind of get back on track really, and then just use it. It kind of didn't even disrupt my flow, because I already had a Sony before. So everything that I have done before, I was able to do again. And it's great because I'm actually going home. I'm originally from St. Louis, and I'm going to be shooting a lot of content down there. So I can't take my job's camera. So to be able to have my own camera again, to go down there and shoot everything that I need to shoot is going to be amazing. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that is cool. I was going to ask you about that, because a lot of the recipients, they got the Sony camera, but they're coming from other camera systems like Fuji or Nikon or something. But you're already in the Sony family, so it's just hey, another engine to shoot with.
I had the Sony A63 III for a long time, for a couple of years, and then I had bought the Sony A7 III, and then recently, earlier March, May, June, I sold it, and then I was like, dang it, I wish I didn't. And so when I won it, I was like, I got it back, basically. So I was able to just kind of go back into my Amazon cart and rebuy everything that I got. So
that's cool. That is cool. You know what? I have that. One of the things I think you received was a Peak Design tripod, right? You got that thing. You got the carbon fiber one. Did they send the carbon fiber? Yeah, I have that one. I'm looking at it right now. That is my favorite tripod of all time. Not that this is a Peak Design commercial or anything, but
Right.
it literally is my favorite tripod. And I'll tell you why. I want to know if you have the same experience. Um, Normally, when I travel, like I said, I travel a fair amount, or used to, but when I travel, it's always a decision. Should I bring the tripod? Do I need it? Should I carry all that weight? And sometimes it affects your loadout. Like, if I carry the tripod, then I'm gonna have to check a bag. Do I really want to check a bag? If I check a bag, I might as well bring bigger luggage. So now it's never a question. It's like, yeah, the tripod just lives. It just goes wherever I go automatically. What do you think of it? You had a chance to play with it for a little bit. What do you think?
To play with it yet because I've been having so much like work that I've been doing. I haven't had a time to sit down. So like
Yeah.
aside from just being able to shoot, I haven't been able. I literally just got a chance probably a week after to open up the box. Like I had this huge box waiting for me at home, and one day, and I had to wait a whole week before I can even open it because work was just with so much work going on. So I actually just opened it up like 3 days ago.
Wow.
Sony came separate. The camera came separately from all the other equipment that I want. So I had got the Sony, I think, on a Friday, and then instantly start shooting with it because it came in a great time for me to like shoot my project that I was shooting the next day. But I hadn't been able to like open up the box. So I recently just opened it up, and I was super excited because I got the 2 bags, and I actually like. When they told me that I can order 2 bags, at first I thought I was only able to get 1, and she was like, "Oh no, you have to pick another one." I'm like, "What?" Like, I literally have a total of like 5 bags right now. But I love it because the 2 bags, I decided to go for bags that I didn't have. So I already had like rugged bags and things like that. So being able to get these 2 bags, I was able to go for like a sling, something smaller in case I didn't need like a full bag, which was cool because now I have like variety in my bags. So I was excited about that. And then a lot of the other Peak equipment I've always wanted, I just never got. Like one of my friends, he has all of the Peak design equipment and he just attaches it to his clip and does all this. And I'm like, man, I want it. And I just never got a chance to purchase it. But now I have it and I'm super excited because I've always had my eye on them. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an overall convenience thing. And like I said, I travel back home so much. So I agree with you on a tripod because I always take like this flimsy tripod that I have because it's small and that's the only one that I have. But now with this, it's like literally like this big. And so the fact that it starts off so small and I can still expand it, I'm excited to actually like really play with it and like take it.
And that thing weighs next to nothing too. Yeah. So that is really cool. I'm excited to see what you're gonna put together. What kind of stuff do you shoot? Like give us a little bit of the Brittney Janae, photographer origin story.
Okay, so I'm from St. Louis and I went to the University of Missouri and I actually majored in computer science because being from the Midwest, it's really just about like at that time being financially stable. So I'm like, computer science, great. I know I'll be financially stable with this career, but I hated it. I hated coding. And during that time, I just fell in love with shooting. So I would just shoot my friends like on XD cams that you would get from Walmart. And I was just kind of like in love with that aspect, just doing it for fun. I never really thought that I could make it a career. But unfortunately, I got kicked out of computer science because of my grades, and I had to switch majors. And then my best friend was like, "You should do what you love doing, and you should try to see if you can get into like photography or film," because I didn't go to like a film school or anything. So I was like, "Okay, well, I'll check." So I got into communications, and then from there, I was able to really just hone in on like what I wanted to do, which was create, shoot video and photos, and just kind of be that kind of creative. So I just started shooting on my own. At that time, YouTube was super fresh. No one was really on it. And I would just try to go in there and learn what I could. My first camera was a Canon T2i. And I did photography on it, video on it, everything for the most part. And back at home, we were doing like family portraits because in Columbia, Missouri, it's not a lot of fashion. It's not a lot of things that you would get like in Los Angeles. And so we started off doing like family portraits and things like that. And then right after graduation, me and my best friend, who I have like the photo company with, we moved to LA to start a production studio. She does makeup. So it was like more of this, like I do photos, she does the makeup. We're a dream team. So I started doing that. And then I got more into video once my equipment got stolen. It was like a welcome to LA, you get your equipment stolen.
Oh no.
Stolen. And I had to rebuy everything. And so I kind of like got rid of my Canon and started to go into Sony because I had been researching about, you know, video wise, it's a great camera. So that's when I got the 6300. And I went on Craigslist to purchase new equipment because I didn't really necessarily have the money. I had just moved to LA, and I met this guy who was selling his lens, met up with him, and he actually became my mentor. I started shooting BTS for him because he was like a celebrity photographer, and he just threw my name out in the LA streets, and I just started working with like companies like TV One and, you know, all these different companies, and they just start hiring me on as a DP.
Wow. See, that's the dream, you know, and that's how things happen. None of that would have happened had your gear not gotten stolen, right?
I was going crazy, like maybe I'm not supposed to be in LA, but it all really did happen. I think the way it was supposed to happen. And if I had not met him, like he really was the start of my career. So I was able to take what he brought me into and just grow from there with like my work. So I do a lot of mini docs. I do a lot of, you know, like docuseries content. At first I was doing a lot of behind the scenes content, but I really want to focus in on like the commercials and the films and the mini documentaries, that kind of storytelling. So.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite, you know, your go-to, you know, mini documentary or documentary on that we can go look at like on Netflix or whatever?
Ooh, mini doc. Let's see. Honestly, what I really like watching, well, not really like, because I think it's a little traumatizing, but I think When They See Us was beautiful to me. Not just
Mm-hmm.
the story, but how Ava was able to capture the emotion. And for me, the way I shoot, I'm all about like creating emotion. And I think that's why I like documentaries and storytelling so much, because I feel like everybody has a story to tell. And I think with that, you get so much more connected to what you're watching, or the people or the thing or the location, whatever is being discussed, whatever the story's about. And then with that, you can create so much emotion. Like, what do you want your audience to receive emotionally? And so that's just always been important to me. Even when I first started in Colombia shooting photos and doing video that way, like I was always drawn into people's story. Like I would talk people's ear off and just listen and hear their stories and like where they started. Because like I have a story, everybody else has a story, and we're all unique in that. And so, yeah, that's just really important to me. So I like things like that. To be able to capture it in such a beautiful way. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Ava DuVernay, my favorite go-to doc, probably the one that I've watched the most, you know, the most number of times is 13th.
Yeah.
And the story, obviously, and you know, every time I watch it, I get mad, but I still watch it, right? So, and just the fact that she's able to tell the story with such professionalism, with the infographics and the animations and the soundtrack and the pacing of the interviews and how they're all lit and the backgrounds is just it's like a, you know, like required viewing, I think, for anyone in the world for the most part, especially the United States. So I love it. I love it.
I like that one too.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, cool. So, you know, I'm curious, you know, we know that you're going to be moving in the direction of documentary type work and all that. What's missing from your kit right now? You got this mountain of gear. You already had a little bit, or you had some, and you added to it now. What's the missing piece? Like, you need a red camera? Like what?
I'm in the process of trying to buy my own audio, because normally I usually rent audio. Especially like because when I work with a client, I'll rent it through them. But now that I want to really hone in, especially with quarantine, it's just reminded me to like get my ideas out there and just shoot regardless of like what I do and don't have. And because of that, it costs a lot when you have to keep renting. And so I feel like I want to create a kit that, at least the most basic kit, to where you have the necessities. So lighting, audio, camera, tripod, you know, things like that. So I want to purchase my own audio, like Sennheiser Lives or a Rode Boom, and I want to get some better lighting. So I think those are the two. I feel like, all right, I got everything that I need. I can go out and flourish.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about the gear. You have your go-to kit, and as long as you have that, you know, that minimum viable kit, you can tell a story with 2 lav mics, so you can do a 2-person interview, that kind of thing, but then you can grow from there as your needs grow, right?
Yeah, I feel like I want to get more. I can always rent it for now, like if I want a slider or anything like that. But I feel like what I've learned is just having an initial kit, like the basic necessities, you can't go wrong with. So
yeah. Fantastic. Well, Brittney, thank you for coming on. I'm excited for you. I know you were saying that you had that box waiting on you for like 3 days or a week or whatever before you could get to it. I can't imagine. I would have just been like, you know what? It's 3 a.m. I'm gonna open that box.
I was so sad. Like it was across from my bed and I would just stare at it. But I'm like, I don't want to open it and then I can't, like soak it all in. So I'm like, let me wait till I actually have time to like soak it in, open it, and like touch it.
You made a ritual. You made a ritual from it. You're sitting there, you had your box, had a glass of wine over there with the music right. You're like, okay, it's time to open it.
I know. I was like, yes.
That's so cool. All right. Well, if people want to connect with you and see some of the stuff that you're working on or your past work, what's the best location for them to go, find you at?
Okay, if they want to see some of my work, they can go to my website. It's www.BrittneyJanae.com, and it's Brittney with 2 T's, N-E-Y, and then Janae, Janae. BrittneyJanae.com, and then on my Instagram, it's Brittney.Janae. So everything is Brittney Janae. YouTube is Brittney Janae as well. So I try to make it as simple as possible.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, once again, congratulations, and I'll let you get on with your day. I'll be watching from afar. Maybe, after you release this next mini doc or documentary, let me know and I'll have you back on the show. We can talk about it a little bit.
Great. Yes. I'm excited.
All right. All right. Brittney, you have a good one. Take care.
Okay, bye.
This is Twitter.